Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Uni Taster Tuesday event. My name is John. I'm here from UniTasterDays, and I'm going to be hosting this event today. These Uni Taster Tuesday events is where we explore university guidance. So whether you're watching this as a school group, perhaps the recording in the new year, or watching this live, or even watching this in your own time, a really warm welcome to you, and I hope you find this event really, really useful. I'm delighted today to be exploring degree apprenticeships, which is a really popular area of university guidance, and something certainly in the last few years has been incredibly popular with students interested in finding out more about them. So I'm delighted to be joined today by Laura from the University of South Wales, who's going to tell us all about degree apprenticeships in this really useful event today. I'm very conscious with these events, you've not tuned in to hear from me, you've tuned in to hear from our excellent speakers. So I'll pass the floor straight away to Laura to give us an introduction to degree apprenticeships. Over to you, Laura.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm here to give you a quick overview of degree apprenticeships. So I'm going to cover what degree apprenticeships actually are, what the benefits of a degree apprenticeship is, how to apply, and also to give you some useful application tips as well. So firstly, before I get started, I'd like to just introduce myself. So my name is Laura Davies. So I work as a Student Recruitment Officer at the University of South Wales. I'm also a former graduate of the university. So that photo there just on the right-hand side was actually my last day as an undergraduate at the university. So I graduated with a marketing degree from the university in 2018. So I know firsthand how overwhelming it can be when you're considering your higher education options. And that's why I thoroughly really enjoy my current role, as I'm able to provide students with information, advice and guidance to help them make more informed decisions in relation to higher education. And also reflect on my personal and first-hand experiences as well. So I do know how difficult it can be, and it is overwhelming, the amount of options that you do have. So hopefully this presentation today, this session will give you more of an overview of what degree apprenticeships are and whether they are the right, potentially an option for you in terms of your higher education options. Okay, so firstly I'm going to cover what a degree apprenticeship actually is. So I'm sure that a lot of you may have heard of a degree apprenticeship, but you may be unsure about exactly what it entails. So degree apprenticeships, they provide an alternative route into higher education. So usually when I speak to sixth formers and I speak to college students, they're torn between going to university or getting a job after they finish school or college. The degree apprenticeship essentially has been designed to give students the best of both worlds, as it combines working with studying part-time at university. So how essentially it works is the employer will partner up with a university, and the apprentice will then split their time between working for them and then studying for a degree at the partner university. The exact balance of work and study is agreed between the apprentice's university and the employer, but it must include at least 20% of their time in off-the-job training. So this could be studying at the university or doing some independent studying for 20% of their time. Degree apprenticeships, they can vary in duration, so they can take between 3 to 6 years to complete, depending on what degree apprenticeship you choose. And then you'll also have to consider that a traditional undergraduate degree usually can take less time, so it usually takes around 3 to 6 years to complete. Another thing to consider about a degree apprenticeship is that you don't have to pay for your tuition fees. So these costs are covered by the government and the employer. So what degree apprentices really do like is the fact that they are able to graduate without any student debt whatsoever. As a degree apprentice, you are a paid employee of the company. So you'll have a contract of employment and you'll have holiday allowance, much like every other employee at the company. Even though you are studying towards a degree, you are not classed as a student, so you are obviously an employee of the company, so you're not entitled to any student loans or additional student funding. But obviously you are paid a salary throughout the duration of the course and the degree apprenticeship, so you hopefully shouldn't need any additional funding. As a degree apprenticeship is a job, employers are ultimately responsible for recruitment. So that means that you will typically have to submit a job application and go through the employer's recruitment processes. So that will mean obviously attending an interview, much as you would for any other typical job. And if you are going for a degree apprenticeship with quite a large organisation, you might find that there are quite a few recruitment processes in place. So it might mean that you have to go through an assessment centre and do some online tests and things like that as well. So it's not just as straightforward as submitting an application. There are quite a few processes in place. You'll have to ensure as well that you do also meet the entry requirements for the university course as well. So that may mean that you have to achieve a certain grade at A-level and you have to have certain GCSE requirements as well. So it is really important that you do also look into the university's requirements as well as the employer's requirements. Okay, so moving on then. So degree apprenticeships are currently only available in a select number of degree areas. So as you can see here on the screen, these are the areas that we are currently offering degree apprenticeships. Okay, so when we refer to protective services as well listed on the screen there, I am referring to things like the police and those sorts of areas, okay? With the growing popularity of degree apprenticeships, we do expect the degree offering to grow significantly over the coming years. So currently at the moment, there are around about 200 degree apprenticeships in development. So you can see that it is an area, backed by the government quite significantly. So the government do provide a lot of funding for employers. So it is definitely an area that we will see an increase in over the coming years. So if you are considering university and potentially, a subject area that isn't listed on the screen, that doesn't mean that there won't be a degree apprenticeship available for you in that particular area in years to come, because obviously the government is investing very heavily in degree apprenticeships. Okay, so moving on to the benefits then of a degree apprenticeship. So obviously one of the benefits of a degree apprenticeship is that you'll be able to gain a full honours degree that's tailored to industry needs. So a degree apprenticeship gives you the opportunity to put the knowledge that you learn at university into practice in the workplace. So if you're more of a hands-on practical person that learns more by doing, then this definitely may be a really good option for you to consider. It's helped students with their academic studies because they do better understand what they're learning at university. So this often results in them achieving a better degree classification as a result. So this could be maybe a 2-1 or a first class honours degree. Obviously, one of the big benefits of a degree apprenticeship is that you do have zero student debt. So the government and your employer will fully fund your degree. So you'll be able to graduate without the burden of having any student debt. Universities throughout the UK can charge up to £9,250 per year for tuition fees. So obviously you can see that you would be making a considerable saving, and it is a massive weight lifted off your shoulders. Another major benefit is that you're able to earn whilst you learn. So a degree apprenticeship will give you the opportunity to receive a competitive salary from your employer and a guaranteed job whilst you study. Every employer offers a different salary, so there isn't one set in stone salary. You would need to explore your options and look into the different salaries that are on offer. So even though you're not guaranteed a job with the company after you graduate, 90% of degree apprentices actually continue working with the company after they've graduated. So the company would have invested a lot of time, a lot of money into you as a degree apprentice, and you will become a very valued member of the company and the team as well. So what we do find is that most companies want to retain and want to keep their degree apprentices after they've graduated. But you have to think as well that you are graduating with very relevant work experience within the chosen field that you're interested in. So you will be highly employable once you've graduated, and this will give you a very competitive advantage within the graduate job market. We know as a university the work experience is really important for graduates because at the moment work experience is considered to be the most important factor on a graduate CV by 80% of employers. So if you've got, you know, 3 to 6 years of relevant work experience within your chosen field, is going to put you in a much better position to get a job once you've graduated than someone who has just gone straight through university and hasn't gained that relevant work experience. So that's definitely one of the biggest benefits of a degree apprenticeship. So I'm just going to give you an overview of the types of companies that offer degree apprenticeships. So as I've mentioned before, degree apprenticeships, they are becoming increasingly popular amongst companies. This is because essentially it gives them the opportunity to access young, talented and motivated college and sixth form leavers who obviously, you know, have the motivation and the skills and knowledge to be able to undertake a work and study based route to a degree. The employer are also able to co-design the degree with the university as well, so they're able to design it in a way that reflects the company's needs. So obviously it is becoming a really popular option for companies. As you can see here on the slide, this is just a snapshot of some of the high profile companies and industry leaders that are offering degree apprenticeships. So I couldn't obviously put down every single company that are offering degree apprenticeships at the moment, but these are just some of the big names that are offering those. What we are finding as well, that it's not only the big and large companies that are offering them, we're also finding more small to medium enterprises are also jumping on board and also offering these degree apprenticeships as well. So we will expect this list to grow significantly in years to come. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly take you through the application process for a degree apprenticeship. So you don't apply for a degree apprenticeship through UCAS like you do with a traditional degree. So apprenticeships, like I've mentioned before, they are jobs, so the employer is ultimately responsible for recruitment. You can search for a degree apprenticeship through various different websites. Okay, so these are just a snapshot of some of the websites that are really good to use to find upcoming degree apprenticeships. So the government website, Prospects, UCAS, and Rate My Apprenticeship. So if you do like the look of a degree apprenticeship, if you come across one and that you like the look of, you can click on that on one of these websites and you will be redirected automatically to the employer's website. And that's where you'll be able to start your application, set up an account, and maybe find out some more information about it then. Unlike traditional degrees, okay, there isn't any fixed cycle for degree apprenticeship applications. So vacancies for degree apprenticeships can become available all year round. Okay, so it isn't like UCAS for university applications where, you know, you've got the 15th of January deadline. Vacancies literally can become available at any point during the year. So what we find is the majority of companies will begin their recruitment processes in January or February. And this is usually in anticipation of having an August or September start date. Most of the websites listed here will also allow you to create an account. So you can opt into receiving alerts as soon as degree apprenticeships become available. I would highly recommend doing this, okay, because obviously, like I said, they do become available all year round. So I wouldn't want you to miss out on an opportunity just because you didn't know about it. So the sooner that you can sign up and start receiving alerts, the better, so that obviously you don't miss out on a really good opportunity. Okay, so moving on then. So I'm going to give you some application tips. Okay, so degree apprenticeships typically have hundreds of applications. So it is really important that you do use this as an opportunity to sell yourself and make your application stand out from the rest. So these quotes that I've got on screen here have been taken directly from employers and shortlisters for degree apprenticeships. So we'll give you an idea of what employers are actually looking for in an application. So firstly and foremost, this is really important. You should read make sure that you tailor your application for the job that you're applying for. This is not just for degree apprenticeships, this is across the board, this is for university or any job that you're applying for. It should always be tailored to the job that you're applying for. Employers can spot a mile away a copy and paste job. So if you are applying for multiple degree apprenticeships and you feel like you should just copy and paste from an existing or previous application, it is really important that you steer away from this habit and that you do tailor it specifically for the job. So it is important that you read the job description and that you make key points, including the essential criteria listed on the job application. And also do your research into the company beforehand as well, so you do understand its key areas and priorities. You'll need to highlight as well how you meet the essential criteria and back this up using relevant examples. This is where a lot of students go wrong, and this is not just with a degree apprenticeship application. This is also for a personal statement for UCAS and university application as well. You shouldn't just write a standalone statement. So for example, saying that you've got excellent communication skills. This is great, but obviously the employer or the university wants to know how you've actually demonstrated these communication skills. So you need to make sure that every statement and everything that you are writing in your application is backed up with hard, relevant evidence and examples. So this could be from when you've been in school or college, it could be your previous employment, it could be voluntary work or extracurricular activities. Obviously, just make reference to as much evidence and as many examples as you can, making sure obviously that they are relevant to the job that you're applying for. So if you don't have relevant experience within the industry, that's absolutely fine, okay? You can still talk about any transferable skills that you've gained from previous work experience or assessments in school or college and things like that as well. Okay, so don't be put off if you feel like you don't have relevant experience within the industry, okay? Because obviously the employer is aware that you are just leaving college or if you're leaving sixth form, so you wouldn't necessarily have had the opportunity to gain relevant experience. But it's all down to the fact, you know, that you're able to sell yourself in a way that you're talking about your transferable skills and why you're a right fit for that particular job. Make sure that you don't undersell yourself as well, okay? So give the employer a reason to invite you to an interview. So demonstrate your interest and enthusiasm for the job that you're applying for. And this will only be done through research as well into the company and into the role that you're applying for. I also can't stress enough how important it is for you to proofread your applications. Spelling and grammatical errors can make all the difference in getting you to the next stage of the recruitment process. So that's why it's really important not to leave an application to the last minute and to get someone else and with a good eye for detail to proofread your application before you submit it as well. And finally, your application really needs to clearly demonstrate that you've thought about why you're applying for the job, okay? I know this may seem like, you know, self-explanatory, like why obviously would I be applying for the job if I didn't actually want it? But you do need to demonstrate that you have a good understanding of the industry and that you understand the role and requirements of the job as well. So it is really important that you do your research before you actually start your applications. So obviously, I'm obviously part of the University of South Wales. So I'm just going to give you just a really quick overview of some of the offerings and opportunities that we have at the university. So we have something called the Network 75 scheme here at the university. So it's similar to a degree apprenticeship as it does offer a combined work and study route to a degree. So it's a fully funded programme. So it's fully funded by the host company. So same as a degree apprenticeship, you will graduate with no student debt. However, it is funded by the host company, not by the government. So that's how it differs to a degree apprenticeship. It is a unique programme to the University of South Wales. So it's been running since the year 2000 and it's a tried and tested scheme, and we've produced over 100 graduates to date. It does give you the opportunity, like a degree apprenticeship, to to gain a degree, gain relevant work experience, and the opportunity to graduate with no student debt. And we also have 100% employability. So all of our graduates on the scheme have secured roles, often in senior roles within their companies after graduation. We also have links with over 400 companies across Wales and England, and we offer up to 50 to 100 placements every year. So it is a really good offering that we do have here at the university. We also offer degree apprenticeships in policing, engineering, digital and technology solutions, and semiconductor technologies. With the growing popularity of degree apprenticeships, we also do expect that this will increase in years to come, as with many other universities as well. One thing that I feel is really important to mention on this slide is, you can still apply to university, and you can also apply for degree apprenticeships as well. So as I've mentioned, degree apprenticeships are competitive. So I always advise, to students, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And also, do apply to university as well as degree apprenticeships. Okay, so you're giving yourself as many options as possible. Okay, so you can still work on your UCAS application and get that in by the January or October deadline. But also then you can still opt into receiving alerts about degree apprenticeships that come up throughout the year as well. You can find out more about degree apprenticeships and any other schemes that universities are offering on their websites as well. So even though those previous websites that I've mentioned are a really good starting place to look into what's on offer, you can look into, directly on university websites as well to see what they have on offer. I must stress that not every university in the UK currently offers degree apprenticeships though. It is only a select number of universities that do offer them. So that's it from me today. So thank you all for listening. I hope that this session has been useful and it's given you a bit of an insight into degree apprenticeships as a potential option for you into higher education. Okay, thank you all for listening.